Welcome from the studios of KPBS TV in San Diego, California. The International Training Center at San Diego State University has created for us today a virtual meeting that spans across the Americas. We are joined today with distinguished organizations in Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina, and the United States of America. Distinguished experts will update us today on the subject of the emerging interactive society, networks, internet, and the World Wide Web. This is the 6th video conference of the series on competitive success with a global focus. My name is Michael Reel. I am director of the School of Communication at San Diego State University and the moderator for today's program. Today's program is composed of 2 presentation modules and 2 question and answer sessions. We look forward to your live participation. Our subject today concerns what is happening with the Internet and related interactive technologies. The explosion of information technology in recent years means we and our clients are all increasingly linked together interactively. More connections, more information, more messages in and out, more access, and more confusion. What are effective strategies for leaders, managers, and professionals in an electronically interactive society? What are the technology options and trends? What expert and support services are available? What investments of money, time, technology, and personnel are the most effective? A recent survey of business employees found 8 new technologies are used by at least 1/3 of those surveyed. 2/3 of the employees use at least 5 types of these technologies on the job. This is the frequency of usage of each. Desktop computers, 84%. Fax machine, 72%. Email, 58%. Answering machine, 57%. Voicemail, 52%. Cellular phone, 44%. Internet and World Wide Web, 42%. CD-ROM, 38%. Beeper, pager, 32%. Intranet network, 21%. A laptop computer, 18%. A Palm computer, 8%. Video conferencing, 8%. Personal electronic organizer, 8%. And robotics, 1%. These technologies are challenging and increasing. Our guest experts today will explain how we can select among Internet-related technologies and how we can make the most effective use of them. Both are widely recognized authorities on current developments in the Internet. Mr. Stuart Harris has co-authored 3 books on HTML and Netscape. One of them was named Best Computer Book in the 1996 San Diego Book Awards. He has published numerous articles about the Internet in national and international magazines. His company produces Zoom San Diego, an entertainment guide, and he designs websites and applications for a wide range of clients in business, culture, and leisure. Before discovering San Diego and the World Wide Web, Stuart Harris was for 15 years a science documentary producer for the British Broadcasting Corporation. Mr. Larry Edwards is a new media consultant specializing in Internet business. He is the manager of research and development for sandiego.com and Internet service provider. He is also an award-winning journalist and the author of the official Netscape Internet Business Starter Kit. Larry Edwards was a co-producer of the award-winning website of the 1995 America's Cup Sailing Competition, the most successful sports website at the time. The San Francisco Chronicle has described Mr. Edwards as an Internet pioneer. Welcome to all the Americas, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let us begin with an introductory question. I continuously feel hopelessly behind in tracking new developments in the Internet. Even for you as Internet experts, is it really possible to stay current on the state of the art of the Internet?
Some days I feel hopelessly behind too. It's very difficult, Michael. It's very difficult, and I spend at least 2 or 3 hours a day literally learning about new technologies that are emerging and hopefully can be used some application in my business or my client's business.
Mike, I can give you a real crisp answer if you like. No. No, it's practically impossible. The best I can say about it is that when I'm actually engaged in a writing project for a book or a magazine article, I feel that I can get on top of that particular subject at that particular time, but when I've finished a month later, I'm out of date.
That's reassuring. Let us begin with Module 1, in which Mr. Edwards will explain the current pros and cons of Internet business.
Good morning. For the next few minutes, I'll discuss the Internet as it relates to productive applications and business opportunities. I'm sure that by now, you've all heard of the Internet, that global network of copper and fiber optic cables and many different types of computers that allows people to communicate electronically and facilitate business and marketing and transactions worldwide. The Internet was founded in 1969. It was restricted to government agencies and academic institutions. In 1991, it was open to commercial operations, and growth of the Internet soared as more and more businesses went online. With the emergence of the World Wide Web in 1993 and 1994, and the use of graphic images, Internet growth exploded. Today, there are an estimated 100 million Internet users worldwide, the majority in the United States and Canada. There are an estimated 2 million Internet users in Central and South America. In terms of business, 1997 online transactions totaled $9 billion US dollars, according to industry analysts Forrester Research and Cowles Simba. According to these same surveys, 1997 business-to-business transactions totaled $7.5 billion. Research analyst Piper Jaffray estimates that by the year 2001, Internet-based business-to-business transactions will total $201.6 billion. Forrester Research estimates that by 2002, online business-to-business transactions will total $327 billion. These and other statistics are available online at CommerceNet at the address you see on your screen. But before you conclude that using the Internet for commercial transactions will automatically be profitable, let me discuss the realities of engaging in business online. I believe that most companies can benefit from being online, if not today, then certainly within the next 5 years. However, the Internet is not a panacea for ill-conceived business ventures, nor is it a substitute for good business practices. A poor business plan with little or no chance of succeeding in the physical world of bricks and mortar is unlikely to succeed online. What the Internet offers is a cost-effective means of communications, marketing, and sales, as well as training. This can be done at the business-to-business, business-to-consumer, and consumer-to-business levels. This is accomplished through email, the World Wide Web, mailing lists, news groups, chat forums, and data exchange. To succeed online, you must learn the lay of the land, that is, the basics. You must become acquainted with the Internet and World Wide Web before committing financial resources to an online venture or electronic commerce. You can accomplish this by whichever means suits you best. You may want to take a class, read a book, or just dive in and learn by playing with it. I recommend the latter. Get comfortable using the software for sending and receiving electronic mail and browsing the web. You may also want to try out a newsreader, transfer files, or even create and edit web pages. Explore the Internet and get a feel for what's going on in what we call cyberspace. Learn what your industry is doing online, what your competitors are doing. In addition to using the Internet to promote your organization and to market and sell your products and services, you can use the Internet to locate resources and information online. This information can range from statistics to government agencies to potential business alliances. For instance, here's some examples I found at the Yahoo Internet Directory, which is also called a search engine, the Mexico Internet Society, the National Institute of Statistics, Geography and Information, the Mexico Net Guide, the Communities of Mexico, Brazil TradeNet, the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, the Office of Brazilian Tourism, Brazil Travel, Argentina's Secretary of Tourism, Argentina's Secretary of Science and Technology, the Japan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and West Iwata Corporation in Japan, the Confederation of Indian Industry, and the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade. In the next segment, my colleague Stuart Harris will discuss Internet searching in detail. In addition to learning the lay of the land to succeed online, you must be able to separate fact from fantasy. You need to know how many people are online and who they are. You need to know what businesses and organizations are online. Otherwise, you can't make smart decisions for yourself. As I illustrated earlier, the majority of Internet users are in the United States and Canada, and roughly 2/3 of the users worldwide are English-speaking. Continental Europe and Japan are the areas with the highest growth. Users in Central and South America make up just 2% of the total Internet population. Brazil, with an estimated 1 million users, has the largest Internet population in the region, followed by Mexico, Chile, and Argentina. Costa Rica has the largest percentage of its population online, estimated at just under 6%. There are an estimated 62 million users in the United States, of which 50 to 57 million use the web, though perhaps only half are regular users. This represents about 30% of U.S. residents ages 16 and older. About 25%, or 1 in 4, were newcomers to the Internet in 1997. But to put this in perspective, 23% of the homes in the United States are connected to the Internet, where 98% of the U.S. homes have televisions. So the Internet has a long way to go to catch up with television. Keep in mind, too, that while there may be 100 million people using the Internet, a significant percentage of them are likely to have limited use. For example, their access may be through their place of employment and restricted to sending and receiving email. They may have no access to the web, which is where the bulk of electronic commerce is taking place. So, who is the typical Internet user? In the United States, it is a male, 35 to 37 years old, married, college-educated, with an income of $55,000. I would suspect that in Central and South America, we would see a similar profile in terms of gender, age, education, and above-average income. The most common use of the Internet is for exchanging email. In terms of the web, however, most people are looking for information, primarily for research and education. They're also seeking news. Entertainment, except for the under 30 crowd, is low on the list. Communicating by email is by far the preference when it comes to interacting with others, as opposed to using chat groups, online conferences, or forums. In a 1997 Business Week poll, only 1% said they shop often while online, and 64% said they never shop online. Only a small percentage have actually purchased anything online. The figure is from 15 to 27%, depending on whose numbers you believe. And here's a revealing statistic. The survey by the Graphic, Visualization, and Usability Center at Georgia Tech University found that web surfers preferred David Letterman to Jay Leno as a late-night talk show host by a more than 2-to-1 margin. You can find these and other statistics online from a variety of sources, including the Business Week Harris Poll Internet Survey, CommerceNet Nielsen Internet Demographics, Find SVP American Internet User Survey, Graphic Visualization and Usability Center World Wide Web User Survey, Matrix Information and Directory Services, and the Pricewaterhouse Consumer Technology Survey. Once you familiarize yourself with the Internet, you need to devise a strategy for going online. Many businesses currently online learned only in hindsight that there's more to doing business online than simply throwing up a website and hoping someone stumbles across it. As with any business venture, going online, whether as an extension of an existing operation or as an entirely new business, requires a well-devised strategy and a carefully crafted budget to succeed. General business and organization uses of the net and World Wide Web include communications, marketing, market research, public and media relations, advertising, training and education, extended product and brand awareness, in-depth information about products and services, product promotions, building and enhancing a company image, business-to-business networking, expanded reach regionally, nationally, and internationally, markets for new products and services, new product distribution methods and channels, wholesale and retail sales, customer-consumer interaction and relationships, customer service and technical support. For business, the Internet is about marketing. However, many businesses went online early on and only after the fact realized they had no clear strategy for integrating their cyber ventures into existing business plans. When going online, be smart. Determine why you want your organization online and what you hope to accomplish. Next, develop a realistic budget. Don't limit the scope to the cost of Internet access and a website. You must also consider the need for human resources, promotion, advertising, equipment upgrades, systems integration, and training. You should start by reviewing your current business plan, or, if it is a new business, establishing an overall business plan. You need well-established goals for your business and organization, whether you're using the Internet or not. The key point to remember is that the Internet is not an end in itself. It is a tool that can be integrated into your overall organizational strategy. Your Internet business plan is an extension of your existing business plan. Establish goals and objectives for being on the Internet and the World Wide Web in terms of communication, networking, marketing, and sales. Then develop an appropriate budget. I tell my small business clients that they should expect to spend $2,000 to $20,000 their first year online, depending on the scope of their online venture. Obviously, some organizations spend much more. A large retail operation may spend more than $1 million setting up an online store with an electronic shopping cart and integrating the online system with back-office accounting, inventory control, shipping and receiving, and customer service. To determine how to make the best use of this tool, you will need to do some market research. Determine if your customers and business partners are online. If they are, that is excellent. If not, consider why not. Are your competitors online? If not, do they know something you don't know? You may decide that now is not the time to be online and you should wait another year or two. But whatever your decision, it should be based on knowledge, not guesswork. Depending on the type of business you're in, it may be that your best use of the Internet is for networking, business-to-business contacts and communications, and for marketing and advertising, education and training. The real value in going online and having a website is that it extends the reach of your business nationally and internationally and makes information about your company available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This can be a very cost-effective way of extending your marketing and sales and training programs. Training and education are also finding a home on the Internet. Businesses and educational institutions are both using the Internet for distance learning and home study courses. Other types of businesses may be more adaptable to conducting sales and online transactions. In terms of actual sales, the top moneymakers are travel-related services and, unfortunately, adult materials, including pornography, both estimated at about $1 billion in sales in 1997. These are followed by computer hardware, books, music CDs, videotapes, and computer software. But the range of products being sold online also includes flowers, fine art, and nutritional products. Selling educational and other services is also becoming more popular on the net. However, I must caution you that there is resistance to purchasing online. This is caused by a number of factors, such as the newness of the medium. But the overriding factor given is security, or the lack thereof. Buying online generally requires the use of a credit card, and many people are reluctant to do so. This is likely to change over time, however. Meanwhile, it will be a factor influencing the success of your online venture if it involves sales. Nonetheless, going online can be profitable without selling a thing. Smart business people know that going online is risky, and they may not show a profit for 18 months to 3 years. A recent survey of United States manufacturers online determined that 58% were profitable after 3 years. The smartest move for an existing organization may be to look at ways of saving money by going online rather than trying to make an immediate profit. Money can be saved by using email to reduce expense for long-distance telephone calls and facsimiles, through reducing printing and postage, by publishing marketing materials online and brochures online, by extending the reach of your business nationally and internationally at a fraction of the cost of opening new offices or expanding existing offices, and by reducing the need for additional employees to answer the telephone or take orders. If you do want to sell directly to customers, remember what I said earlier about people being reluctant to shop online. The biggest barrier is lack of confidence in internet security. They are afraid someone will steal their credit card number, or they will never receive the product they ordered. Nevertheless, each year, more and more people are buying products online. It is similar to the television shopping that has become big business in the United States. When the first shopping channel started in the 1980s, there was only one, and people wondered if it would last. Today there are 7 or 8 shopping channels, and they are doing millions of dollars in business each year. I believe that we will see the same thing occur with the Internet. In fact, some of these television shopping channels are now on the Internet too. It just takes time for people to get used to the concept. There also may be cultural issues at play. In Latin America, and in other regions of the world, for example, personal relationships play a greater role in business. But the Internet can be very impersonal. Will this make it more difficult to use the Internet for business? I don't have the answer, but it probably will be a factor and should be examined carefully. The key point to remember is that you can build your online presence in phases. You can start small and use it for marketing and communications, test the waters, so to speak, then expand it when it is warranted to the point of conducting online transactions. You also need to determine how to position yourself online. Considering that there is a relatively small number of users in Central and South American countries, your best strategy at first may be to look to North America, where the majority of Internet users live. If you have products you can export or services you can provide, particularly business services to foreign companies or tourists, the Internet could help you cost-effectively reach customers thousands of miles away. One question I'm often asked is, should I have my own website, or should I become part of a mall? It's been shown over the past 3 years that the mall-style shopping center approach that works so well in the physical world does not work well in cyberspace. This is because in the physical world, geography plays a critical role in determining where people shop for goods and services. But in cyberspace, a shop in Rio de Janeiro is just one mouse click away from a shop in Mexico City, Buenos Aires, or Santiago. I recommend that companies establish their own identities and domain names. However, if you belong to a trade or industry association, such as a tourism consortium, you may benefit from cross-promotions and co-branding through the interlinking within a larger website. Once you have established your online strategy, you are ready to put it into action. This means integrating your internet plan with your overall organizational objectives and practices. Remember, it must work hand in hand with your existing activities to achieve your goals. Your online marketing materials should work hand in hand whether in print, radio, television, or online. You may begin simply by establishing internet access and using email to communicate with others. But if you're serious about using the internet for marketing and sales, you will probably need a website. Therefore, it is imperative that you develop a well-designed website. This becomes your online ambassador and sales representative. An effective website needs to be visually attractive, fast downloading, easy to navigate, and interactive. One of the biggest mistakes many organizations make is placing very large graphic images and multimedia files on their websites. Then they wonder why no one gets past the home page. The 1997 Price Waterhouse Consumer Technology Survey concluded that web users want information, not eye candy. The graphics and animation-heavy websites that delight their creators and tech heads, but leave end users sighing heavily while waiting for the stuff to download. The Walt Disney Company learned the hard way how not to build a website. The entertainment company spent hundreds of thousands of dollars rebuilding its multiple websites, not once, but twice. The problem was that the site included extremely large graphic images, video clips, and multimedia presentations. This required very large files that took the average home user several minutes to download. The visitors to the site became impatient and went elsewhere. The Disney site is much better now, with much smaller images and presentations. If you are doing business internationally, you will need a bi- or multilingual website. For some Central and South American websites, it is not uncommon to see them in 3 or 4 languages: Spanish, English, Portuguese, and French. This will, of course, raise the cost. I recommend you hire experienced professionals to help you develop your website and put it online, unless this is what your business or organization does, or you have lots of time to learn the process. In the long run, this is generally more cost-effective because the learning curve is steep. A small website based on existing materials and graphics will cost you a few $100s. A site requiring custom graphics and some programming will be in the low thousands of dollars. A highly customized site with a great deal of information and interactivity could cost you $25,000 to $100,000 or more. You should get bids from 3 or 4 contractors, if possible, and hire someone with experience. As for hosting the website and other internet services, I recommend you use an internet service provider unless you employ people with the necessary skills, or you have students who will do the work for nothing. Setting up and maintaining web and mail servers is not cheap and requires special expertise. This way you don't have an investment in equipment and software that may be outdated in a year or 2. Once the website is completed, give it a formal launch. Inform the news media, trade publications, and notify your customers and business associates. Make certain that you have email and web addresses on your business cards, your letterheads, and in your marketing materials, advertisements, and product packaging. I know this sounds obvious, but I attended an internet exhibition recently, and a company selling web development software did not have its web address on its product brochure. That is the same as shooting yourself in the foot. Make sure you register your website addresses with the major search engines, including Yahoo, Excite, InfoSeek, AltaVista, Lycos, and others. I've included in your materials a list of my top 10 directories. In most cases, the registration process is free and only takes a few minutes. Also, identify online directories with which to affiliate yourself. For example, the Mexico Business Communications Directory. Look for opportunities to cross-link with other websites within your own industry. To succeed online, you must advertise and promote your online activities, just as you do your real-world business or organization. While a website is a form of advertising, it can be like a billboard at night with no lights illuminating it. If it is not seen, it will be of no value. You can advertise online as well as through traditional methods. The key is having your web address clearly visible in the advertisement. You can also use your website to establish your own electronic mailing list. But please, no spam, which is the act of sending hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of unsolicited email messages. Stuart Harris will address this issue in the next segment. One way to attract people to your website is to have special offers available only online. This promotes the website and helps track its effectiveness at the same time. For example, on a recent trip, I received discounts on my hotel and car rental by making the arrangements on the Internet. These were special offers available only through the Internet. Once your website is up and running, it needs to be updated, upgraded, and promoted on a continuing basis. This requires that you remain cognizant of the demand for change, provide good customer service, review and update the content as needed. Also, invite feedback. Make the site interactive and incorporate new features that add value to the site. What's most important, however, is that you establish an ongoing promotional program. The online bookstore Amazon.com, for example, spent $16.3 million on marketing and sales alone in the last quarter of 1997. Capitalize on the strengths of the Internet rather than bemoan its shortcomings. An executive at Reebok, the sports shoe and apparel company, recently stated that creative online is falling short compared to television, and the web needs to be more stimulating. Well, Reebok marketers and others are stuck in the TV rut of mind-numbing bombardment of their target markets with gaudy visual images and ear-thumping audio. They need to stop whining and embrace the challenges of this new frontier. Program evaluation is critical to success, but determining the effectiveness of an online program is not always easy, especially if you're not actually selling products online. If you are selling products online, your sales numbers themselves